All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going deep on this anabolic recomp system.
Okay, sounds good.
And looks like it could be a real game changer, especially for guys over 40.
Yeah, a lot to unpack here for sure.
Yeah, so it claims to be like the answer for guys our age who are looking to, transform their bodies.
Right, right.
Talking about gaining muscle while losing
Kind
fat.
of a holy grail, right?
Exactly. And supposedly it does it all by like strategically working with our changing metabolisms, not against them, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that really caught my eye with this book was that it throws out that old bulk and cut cycle, where you spend months bulking up, then you got to cut like crazy to shed the fat.
Yeah, you always end up feeling like you're just chasing your tail.
Right. It's exhausting and frankly can be pretty discouraging, especially as we get older.
It is. It is.
This system, this anabolic recomp, it suggests that we can actually work with those natural hormonal and metabolic shifts that happen as we age.
Okay, so less about fighting our bodies and more about, like you said, strategic teamwork.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, I gotta admit, I've always been a little skeptical about this whole body recomposition thing.
I get it, I get it.
It always sounded kind of like a fitness myth.
Yeah, it can sound almost too good to be true, right?
Right? Is it really possible to build muscle while shedding fat at the same time?
It is possible, but it's definitely tricky.
Okay, so no magic bullet.
No magic bullet, no.
So how does this anabolic recomp approach things differently? What's the secret sauce?
Well, most diets kind of force you into a corner.
Right.
You either focus on losing weight, but then you risk losing precious muscle too,
Yeah.
or you bulk up, but then you inevitably gain some fat along the way.
Yeah, it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's the alternative?
This book, Anabolic Recomp, it proposes that we can actually escape that cycle.
Oh.
By understanding and leveraging our hormones to our advantage.
Okay, so hormones are a key player here.
Big time, especially as we get older.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what does that actually look like in practice? What's the game plan?
So the system revolves around what's called the 5.5-1.5 cyclical ketogenic model.
5.5, 1.5. All right, break that down for me.
Basically, you spend 5.5 days in a ketogenic state.
Oh, okay, so keto is part of the picture?
It is, but not in the traditional sense.
Okay, I was going to say, doesn't keto make it hard to gain muscle?
I mean,
Especially for guys our age.
You're right. Traditional keto can be a roadblock for muscle growth.
Yeah.
Especially for men over 40, we're already dealing with naturally declining testosterone levels.
Right.
But here's the magic of this cyclical approach.
Okay.
It leverages the fat-burning power of keto BUT.
Right.
It incorporates these targeted refeeds.
Refeeds, okay, so we're not staying in keto forever.
Nope. These refeeds, they last for about a day and a half.
Okay.
And they're strategically timed to replenish your glycogen stores, boost those crucial anabolic hormones, and most importantly, keep your metabolism from going into hibernation.
So it's like giving your body a jolt of what it needs at just the right time.
That's a great way to put it.
So we're talking about a dance between fat burning and muscle building.
Yeah, exactly. A well-choreographed dance.
Now, one thing that stood out to me in the book was how specific it is about macronutrients.
Yes. Yes, precision is key with this system.
And not just during the keto days, but also during the refeeds.
Right, it's not just a blanket cut carbs kind of approach.
No, it seems much more nuanced than that.
It is. The book actually provides a very detailed framework for calculating your individual macros.
Oh, wow. So it takes the guesswork out of it.
It does. It takes into account your goals, your activity level, all of that.
That's cool. Is there like a formula or something?
Yeah, they even include a spreadsheet to make those calculations super easy.
Okay, so it's very systematized.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it's not just about hitting those numbers blindly. The book really emphasizes understanding the role of each macro.
Okay, let's talk macros then. Protein, obviously, that's crucial for building muscle. But how does that work within the cyclical model, where we're going in and out of ketosis?
So protein becomes even more important during that keto phase.
Okay, why is that?
Because you're in a calorie deficit, right?
Right.
So you need to make sure you're getting enough protein to protect your muscles from breaking down.
Oh, that makes sense.
Think of protein as your muscle's bodyguard during those fat-burning days.
I like that analogy, muscle bodyguard.
Keeping those muscles safe while you're shedding fat.
Okay, so we're fueling those muscles even as we're in a calorie deficit.
Exactly. It's about being strategic.
All right, what about fat? I know it becomes the primary fuel source during keto, but what are its other roles in this whole process?
Fat plays a much bigger role than just providing energy.
Okay.
It's vital for hormone production, especially those all-important testosterone levels we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, fat helps your body produce those ketone bodies.
Which are what?
They're basically what your body runs on when it's in ketosis.
Oh, okay. So fat is kind of the driving force behind the keto part of the cycle.
You got it.
All right. And then we have carbs, the often demonized macro in the world of dieting.
Right, but this method seems to take a different approach.
Yeah, it's not about banishing carbs completely, is it?
No, it's more about strategic carb cycling.
So carbs are more like a tool than an enemy.
Exactly.
So during the keto phase, we're keeping them low.
Very low. Think lots of leafy greens, cruciferous veggies, those kinds of things.
And then during the refeeds, we bring them back in.
Strategically.
Right. Okay, but why are those refeeds so important? What's the point of bringing carbs back into the picture?
Those refeeds are key for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
First, they prevent your metabolism from slowing down.
Which can happen with prolonged calorie restriction.
Exactly.
And then they also help with the muscle building side of things, right?
Yes, those carbs help replenish your glycogen stores, which are crucial for muscle growth and recovery.
So it's like hitting the reset button on your system.
Yeah, a metabolic reset.
Okay, this is all starting to make a lot of sense.
Good.
We've got this interesting eating pattern down.
Right.
But what about the other side of the coin? How does training fit into this whole anabolic recomp picture?
Training is absolutely crucial.
Okay, good to hear. I was hoping it wasn't all about diet.
No, you got to give your body the right stimulus to grow and adapt.
So what kind of training does the book recommend?
Resistance training is the star of this year.
Makes sense.
Especially during those calorie-restricted keto phases, you need to make sure you're lifting weights to maintain and build muscle.
Okay, so we're stimulating muscle protein synthesis, keeping that metabolism fired up.
That's the goal.
What kind of lifting program are we talking about here?
Well, the book actually offers 2 different training splits to choose from.
Oh, cool.
You can go with the traditional upper-lower body split, which is what a lot of people are familiar with.
Right.
Or you can try the author's preferred method, which is full-body workouts.
Full body. Interesting. I've always done splits.
The author argues that full-body workouts are more efficient and time-effective.
I might have to give that a try.
And of course, the book goes into detail about how to tailor your rep ranges and intensity levels based on your goals.
So whether you're aiming for strength gains, hypertrophy, or just that overall metabolic boost,
It's all covered.
sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is.
What about cardio? Where does that fit into the mix?
The book covers both low-intensity, steady-state cardio.
Like walking or swimming,
Exactly.
and HIIT.
Yep, high-intensity interval training.
Okay, so there's flexibility there.
There is. It really emphasizes listening to your body and adjusting your cardio based on your energy levels and recovery capacity.
I like that.
It's about finding that sweet spot between pushing yourself and allowing your body to adapt.
Okay, so we've got this cyclical keto diet dialed in, a tailored training protocol.
Right.
What else is in the anabolic recomp toolbox? Anything else we need to know about?
Supplements are definitely addressed.
Oh, supplements. Okay, tell me more.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
The book is very clear that supplements are tools, not magic bullets.
Okay, I appreciate that.
They're meant to support the foundation of proper nutrition and training, not replace them.
Right. I feel like so many diets these days rely on supplements as the answer.
I hear you.
So it's refreshing to see a more grounded approach.
Exactly. It's about focusing on the fundamentals first.
So what kind of supplements does the book recommend, if any?
They talk about foundational supplements, like electrolytes, especially important during those first few weeks of keto adaptation.
Right, to prevent the keto flu.
Exactly.
Yeah,
A high-quality multivitamin is also recommended to cover any nutritional gaps.
makes sense.
And then omega-3 fish oil, that's a good one for its anti-inflammatory and hormone-supporting benefits.
That's a solid starting point.
It is.
Any other interesting or unique supplements that caught your eye?
Well, creatine monohydrate is one that stands out.
Creatine, isn't that mainly for muscle growth?
It is, but studies have also shown that it can actually improve short-term memory and reasoning skills.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, could be a good one for those of us experiencing a little age-related cognitive decline.
I like the sound of that.
And then for those who want to explore more advanced options, there are things like BHB salts, which can help boost your ketone levels and support mental clarity during the keto phase.
Okay.
And then there are adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha and rhodiola, which can be helpful for managing stress and promoting hormonal balance.
So there's a whole world of supplements to explore within the system.
It seems like it, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all comes down to implementation, right?
Right.
We can have all the knowledge in the world, but if we don't actually put it into practice.
Right, you got to walk the walk.
So how does anabolic recomp help with that? How does it bridge the gap between knowledge and action?
It provides a really practical framework for integrating this approach into everyday life.
That's what I'm looking for, practicality.
It emphasizes the importance of meal planning
Okay.
and even offers detailed sample meal plans for both the keto and refeed phases.
Oh,
They even include recipes.
awesome. I love a good recipe.
But it also goes beyond just food.
Oh,
It addresses those real-life challenges that can trip us up,
like what?
like finding time for meal prep when you're busy
Oh, yeah, that's always a struggle.
and navigating social situations and travel.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
can be tough when you're trying to stick to a specific eating plan.
they are. Those are the things that always get me off track.
This book acknowledges those challenges and provides practical strategies for overcoming them.
I like that. What about those frustrating plateaus that inevitably happen?
Oh, yeah, those are the worst.
You're cruising along, making progress, and then bam, you hit a wall.
Exactly.
Does the book offer any advice for dealing with those?
It does. It talks about those common plateaus like fat loss stalls and muscle building plateaus,
Okay,
and it provides specific solutions for breaking through them.
awesome. What
Yeah.
kind of solutions are we talking about?
It depends on the specific plateau, but it might involve adjusting your macros, tweaking your training program,
Yeah.
or even incorporating some of those more advanced techniques we talked about earlier.
Right, right. So it's about having a plan for when those hurdles inevitably pop up.
Exactly. It's about being proactive and adaptable,
I like that.
understanding that this is a journey, not a race.
Very true. Are there any frequently asked questions that stood out to you in the book? Things that you think our listeners might be wondering about?
One of the most common questions is, how long does keto adaptation really take?
Yeah, that's a good one.
People want to know how long they have to suffer through the keto flu before they start feeling the benefits.
The keto flu is no joke.
It's not. The book addresses this head-on and explains that it varies from person to person,
Right.
but generally it takes about 2 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so not an insignificant amount of time.
No,
Yeah.
but the book also provides tips for minimizing those adaptation symptoms,
Oh, good, good.
so you can make that transition a little smoother.
Okay, what about another common concern? Can you actually build muscle on a cyclical keto diet?
That's a big one. And the answer is yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, good to hear. That's always been my biggest hesitation with keto.
I get it.
I love the fat burning aspect, but I don't want to sacrifice my gains.
This book makes it clear that muscle building is definitely achievable with this approach.
Okay, how so?
It's about having a strategic approach to protein intake, training intensity, and hormonal optimization.
Makes sense.
It really debunks that myth that keto is just for fat loss.
So it can actually be a tool for both fat loss and muscle gain.
Exactly.
This is all starting to sound very promising. So far, we've got a well-defined system, a science-backed approach, practical advice for overcoming real-life challenges.
Yeah.
But does it go beyond the basics? Is there anything in there for those who are ready to take their metabolic optimization to the next level?
You bet. The book dedicates a whole section to advanced techniques.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Things like nutrient timing mastery,
Nutrient timing.
where you learn to strategically time your protein and carb intake to maximize muscle growth and recovery.
Oh, wow. That's getting into the nitty-gritty.
It is. And then there's metabolic flexibility training.
Okay, what's that?
It involves incorporating specific training protocols that are designed to enhance your body's ability to switch between burning fat and carbs for fuel.
So basically becoming a metabolic chameleon.
Exactly. Being able to seamlessly adapt to different fuel sources.
I like that. What else is in that advanced section?
Well, they also talk about biohacking approaches, like
Yeah.
using continuous glucose monitors to track your blood sugar levels in real time.
Oh, wow. That's getting pretty high tech.
It is,
Yeah.
but it can provide incredible insight into how your body responds to different foods and activities.
So you can really fine-tune your approach.
Precisely. And then there's also a focus on hormonal optimization.
Okay, we talked about hormones being a key player earlier.
Right. And the book provides strategies for naturally optimizing your hormone levels, specifically testosterone.
So this is for guys who are serious about taking their metabolic health to the next level.
It is, yeah, it's for those who are willing to put in the effort and really geek out on the science.
Now, we've talked a lot about the physical aspects, but what about the mental game?
Oh, that's huge.
Does the book address the psychological side of body recomposition?
Absolutely. It recognizes that mindset is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Okay, good.
It includes sections on psychological performance techniques,
Hmm.
like visualization protocols,
Visualization, interesting.
goal-setting methodologies,
Mm.
and stress resilience training.
So it's not just about the physical effort, it's about cultivating the right mindset as well.
Exactly.
It's about the whole package, body and mind working together.
That's the key to sustainable results.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Sure.
is there like a central message, a key takeaway that the book really drives home?
I think the most important takeaway is that this approach is about understanding and working with your unique metabolism, not fighting against it.
Oh, I like that. Working with your body, not against it.
It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports your body's natural processes.
Rather than trying to force it into a rigid, unsustainable mold.
Exactly. It's about finding a way to eat and train that feels good, that you can maintain long term.
Sustainable transformation, not a quick fix.
That's the goal.
All right, this has been incredibly insightful so far. I'm already starting to rethink my whole approach to fitness and nutrition,
That's what it's all about.
challenging those old paradigms and finding what truly works for you.
Exactly.
But we've only just scratched the surface here. We've got a lot more to explore in part 2 of our deep dive into anabolic recomp.
Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon with even more insights and practical tips.
See you then. And it really emphasizes that this isn't a quick fix
Right.
or a fad diet.
No,
It's a journey of continuous learning, experimentation, and adaptation.
that makes sense. It's about understanding that this is a process and being willing to adapt along the way.
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of adaptation, I'm curious about those sample meal plans you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
Can you give us a sneak peek into what a typical day might look like on this cyclical keto plan?
Sure, let's start with the keto phase.
Okay.
So picture this. You wake up
Mhm.
and you fuel your body with a 3-egg omelet packed with spinach and creamy goat cheese.
Okay, I'm listening.
Mid-morning, you reach for a handful of macadamia nuts and a refreshing glass of electrolyte water.
To keep those keto flu symptoms at bay?
Right, gotta stay hydrated.
Electrolytes are key.
They are.
Okay, what about lunch?
For lunch, how about a flaky grilled salmon fillet paired with a vibrant mixed green salad drizzled with olive oil?
Sounds delicious.
And then as the day winds down, you enjoy a juicy grass-fed ribeye steak
Oh, man.
with roasted Brussels sprouts and a comforting side of cauliflower mash.
Okay, I'm sold on those keto meals.
Right. It's not about deprivation.
No, not at all.
It's about finding delicious, satisfying foods that fit within your macros. Now, when those carb refeeds roll around,
Yes. The refeeds?
that's where we strategically bring back those complex carbohydrates.
All right, lay it on me.
Imagine starting your day with a warm bowl of oatmeal, topped with fresh berries, and a scoop of protein powder.
Okay.
For a midday snack, you might enjoy a creamy Greek yogurt drizzled with honey and crunchy granola.
That sounds amazing.
Lunch could feature a flavorful chicken breast served alongside fluffy white rice and roasted sweet potatoes bursting with sweetness.
Okay, I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah, the refeeds are all about those satisfying carbs.
They are. So we've got delicious meals for both the keto and refeed phases.
Right.
But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Changing our eating habits, even in a structured way like this, can come with its challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
So what kind of practical advice does the book offer for navigating those inevitable bumps in the road?
The book is very realistic about the fact that challenges are inevitable,
Okay, good.
and it emphasizes the importance of being prepared.
So it's not about being perfect, it's about having a plan.
Exactly.
So what kind of plan are we talking about?
Well, it provides a toolbox of strategies.
Yeah.
Things like time-saving meal prep hacks.
Meal prep is key.
It is, especially when you're busy.
It is.
And then there are tips for handling social situations.
Oh, yeah, those can be tricky.
They can,
You
right?
know, like when everyone's ordering pizza and you're trying to stick to your keto plan.
Right, or you're traveling and your options are limited.
Yeah, those are the things that always get me off track.
The book provides guidance for navigating those situations without derailing your progress.
So it's about being flexible and finding ways to work around those obstacles.
Exactly.
Now, what about those dreaded plateaus?
Oh, the plateaus.
Yeah, you know, when you're making progress and then suddenly you hit a wall.
It's so frustrating.
It is. Does the book offer any advice for dealing with those?
It does.
Okay, good.
It covers common plateaus like fat loss stalls and muscle building plateaus.
Okay.
And it provides specific solutions to help you break through and keep moving forward.
Like what kind of solutions?
Well, it might involve adjusting your macros,
Okay.
tweaking your training program, or even incorporating some of those more advanced techniques we talked about earlier.
Right,
It really
right.
depends on the specific plateau and your individual circumstances.
So it's about being proactive and having a plan for when those plateaus inevitably pop up.
Exactly.
Okay, now what about for those listeners who are completely new to the world of keto?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Is there support for them in this book as they embark on this journey?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Anabolic Recomp is designed to be accessible to everyone, regardless of their prior experience with keto.
I like that.
It provides a really clear and comprehensive introduction to the fundamentals of ketosis.
So it walks you through the
It
basics.
does, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just for the keto veterans out there.
No, it's for anyone who's interested in exploring this approach.
That's awesome.
It even offers practical tips for managing those initial keto adaptation symptoms.
Like the keto flu,
Ex-
which can be pretty brutal for some people.
It can be, yeah.
So it helps you ease into the process and feel your best.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established that the book covers the fundamentals for beginners.
Right.
But what about for those who are already familiar with keto and body recomposition?
Yeah, good point.
Does it offer anything for those who are ready to level up their metabolic game?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me more.
It doesn't just stop at the basics. It also delves into those advanced techniques we touched on earlier.
Like the nutrient timing and metabolic flexibility training?
Yep, those are in there.
Okay, so it's got something for everyone.
It does, whether you're a keto newbie or a seasoned pro, there's something in this book for you.
That's great. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts,
Sure.
is there anything else that particularly stood out to you in the book? Something that surprised you or sparked your curiosity?
You know, one thing that really struck me was the emphasis on the psychological aspect of body recomposition.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that a bit earlier.
Right. And the book really dedicates a significant portion to the power of mindset, motivation, and mental resilience.
Okay, so it's not just about the physical effort, it's about the mental game as well.
Exactly.
I love that. I feel like that's often the missing piece in a lot of fitness programs.
I agree.
You know, we can have all the knowledge and tools in the world, but if our mindset isn't aligned, it's hard to achieve lasting results.
It's so true.
So what kind of psychological tools does the book offer?
It offers a toolbox of techniques, things like visualization protocols,
Visualization.
to help you clearly define your goals and see yourself achieving them.
Okay.
And then there are goal-setting methodologies
Mm-hmm.
that break down those seemingly overwhelming goals into manageable steps.
Right. So it's about making it feel less daunting.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
And then there's stress resilience training,
Stress resilience. Interesting.
which equips you with the tools to manage the inevitable challenges that come with any transformation journey.
So it's about building that mental fortitude.
Yes, it's about recognizing that setbacks are a part of the process
Yeah.
and having the tools to bounce back from them.
I love that. It's about cultivating that growth mindset.
Exactly.
It sounds like Anabolic Recomp really emphasizes the power of the mind-body connection.
It does. And it recognizes that true transformation is about more than just changing your physique.
Right. It's about a holistic approach.
Exactly.
It's about cultivating a positive relationship with your body and your health.
Yes, and understanding that true and lasting change is a journey that involves both the body and the mind.
Beautifully said. I couldn't agree more.
It's about embracing that journey, those ups and downs, and learning to navigate them with resilience and a growth mindset.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Sure.
what are your final thoughts on Anabolic Recomp? What message do you think will resonate most with our listeners?
I think the most powerful message is that sustainable transformation comes from working with your body, not against it.
Yeah, I like that.
This book challenges the notion that we have to constantly restrict ourselves and suffer through grueling workouts to see results.
Right. It's not about deprivation and punishment.
Exactly.
It's about finding a more balanced and enjoyable approach.
It is, and I think that's what will resonate most with our listeners.
Yeah, our listeners are all about finding those sustainable solutions that feel good and fit into their lives.
And Anabolic Recomp definitely seems to offer that.
It does. It's about understanding your body, working with its natural rhythms, and finding a way to achieve your goals without sacrificing your well-being.
Well said.
Okay, so we've explored the science, the strategies, and the mindset behind Anabolic Recomp.
Right.
We've gotten a glimpse into what a typical day of eating might look like.
And we've talked about some of the challenges and how to overcome them.
So what's next? Where do we go from here?
Well, for those who are intrigued by what we've discussed today,
Yes,
I would highly recommend checking out the full book.
Anabolic Recomp.
Yeah, and I believe they also have an ebook version.
Okay, so there are options for everyone.
There are.
And in the book, you can dive deeper into all the details we've discussed.
Right, there's so much more in there.
So it's like having a comprehensive guide to this whole cyclical keto approach.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the knowledge.
Yes.
But as you said earlier, knowledge is only part of the equation.
Right, you got to take action.